Hello, back again to read another scene from my book, Berea, Time to Step Up. I hope you guys enjoyed the last one. I don't know how many watched it because I didn't look at the thing, but I do hope that more do join and enjoy the readings. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy this one as well. For the past month, Tiana has been worried about what Aliana said. What if Tiana really does have feelings for him? What if he really has feelings for her? This is completely foreign to her. She has never liked someone, much less been in a relationship with anyone. Just thinking about holding hands is making her tense up. She doesn't even want to think about kissing him. Tiana stops in the middle of the hallway, and the other trainees walk around her while staring at her, wondering what's wrong with her. She shakes her head to get rid of that thought. No, Tiana, she says to herself. You can't think about that right now. You've got to prepare for the test. Tiana, Threshold, and Kobe have advanced to the last stage in intermediate level. They are about to take the test to get in the leadership level. Tiana is at the starting line with Threshold and Kobe standing behind her, with the rest of the class sitting on the floor behind them. Miss Gritnell and the other trainer walk up to them. All right, you three. For this test, you have to get the prize possession that is hanging from the ceiling. She points through the glass floors to 3 ropes that have a bag tied to the end of them. And you have to do this within 15 minutes while, of course, dealing with a few obstacles. Miss Gritnell takes out a screen tube and turns it on. The screen comes up and she goes to the timer and sets it to 15 minutes. First up is Tiana, then Threshold, ending with Kobe. Are you ready? Tiana nods her head. Miss Gritnell hits start. Go. Tiana runs up to a rope and starts to climb. She gets to the first level and starts to run across, but notices that the ground is cracked glass. She looks up to find nothing to help her get across. She looks around for something, but nothing is there. Shoot, she thinks to herself. She starts to brainstorm as she walks over to the wall to her right. She rests her hand on it and realizes that the wall is covered in styrofoam. She takes out 2 cutting knives and starts to climb over to the other side. She gets down and looks at the second floor. There are no stairs, ropes, or ladders. Nothing but scraps of metal sticking outside of the walls on both sides. She backs up to give more room to run, then runs towards the wall to the left and kicks herself off it and latches onto a metal bar. She moves her hands around so she's facing the other bar that is about 10 feet in front of her. She swings back and forth to get her some momentum, then flips forward and grabs the bar. She puts her feet on the wall and walks up to where her feet are level with the bar. She puts her left foot on the bar, following with her right. Using her balance, she slowly stands up. When she's up straight, she jumps off the bar, towards the other wall, and kicks off it. She kicks herself off the other side and lands on the second floor. After she lands, she hears Miss Gritnell on the speaker saying, 10 minutes. Tiana takes a deep breath and walks forward. She's looking for the next obstacle, but seeing none, she slows down. She's standing in the middle of the floor when a foot kicks her in the back of her head. She falls to the floor and looks behind her to see a man covered in black from head to toe standing over her. What a cheap shot, she thinks to herself. Should have come head on. Weakling. She stands up and takes out a rolling pin and a saucepan. She turns the pan in her hand a few times and a man runs up to her. He takes out a metal bar, rolls on the floor, and hits Tiana on her knee, causing her to buckle. Then he stands up and kicks her to the floor. Tiana falls and she lets go of her weapon so she can break the fall. She sits up and the man goes to hit Tiana with the bar again. Tiana rolls towards the rolling pin, causing the man to hit the ground. She takes the pin and swings it backwards, hitting the man on the knee. The man falls to one knee and Tiana leans back on her hands and kicks him to the floor. She gets on her knees and raises the pin above her head and is getting ready to knock the man out when she gets kicked in the back. She falls on top of the man. She rolls off him and looks up to see a woman in the same garment as the man. Sweet. I get to fight 2 at the same time. She picks up the saucepan and stands up. The man starts to get up and Tiana hits him in the back of the head with the rolling pin, knocking him out. Too easy. The woman takes out a whip and wraps it around Tiana's wrist, causing Tiana to look down at it in surprise. Then she pulls Tiana towards her. Then the woman kicks her in the stomach, sending Tiana onto her back. Tiana drops the rolling pin and wraps her hand around the whip. She gets a good grip and pulls the woman down beside her. She stands up and yanks the whip out of the woman's grip. Tiana shakes the whip off her and takes out a pot. The woman pushes herself off the floor and takes out two side swords. They go toe to toe, hitting pot and pan to sword for a few minutes. Tiana spins and hits the woman on her side with the pot, then uppercuts her with the pan. The woman falls to the ground and Tiana runs towards the ladder while putting the pot and pan up. She gets to the ladder and starts to climb. The woman shakes off the pain and runs up behind her and grabs her by the leg. Tiana thinks to herself, "Ugh, you are messing with my time, lady." Tiana turns around and kicks her in the face with the other leg, causing the woman to lose her grip and fall on her butt. Tiana continues to climb up. When she gets to the third floor, Miss Gritno gets on the speaker and says, 5 minutes. Tiana looks up at the fourth floor where the prized possessions are and sighs. She starts to run, then the floor opens up and reveals a pool full of snakes. She stops in mid-stride, right at the edge of the snakes. She loses her balance and waves her arms to keep from falling in. The snakes are looking at her and hissing. She takes a couple steps back once she gains her balance. She looks around and sees bars hanging from the ceiling. She takes out 2 kitchen towels and ties them together. She takes a few more steps back and runs towards the wall. She pushes herself off it and hangs the towels on the bar and slides across it. Before reaching the end, she lets go of one end and flips backwards. She latches on to the next bar and repeats this action for the next few bars. While flipping in the air towards the last bar, the towels slip out of her hand and fall on top of the snakes. Fear snakes through her body as she quickly grabs the bar with her hand and looks down at the towels as the snakes slide on top of them. "Dang it," she says under her breath. She looks back at the bar. Just my luck. She swings across the bar and stops in front of the wall that has rocks on it. She swings back and forth and then lets go of the bar and lands on the wall, hitting her knee on one of the rocks. She hisses at the pain and waits for it to subside before climbing to the last floor. Once she gets there, she looks at her knee to see the blood is starting to bleed through her pants. 2 minutes, Mrs. Gritno says. Tiana looks at the ropes, then looks around for any more obstacles. Seeing none, she starts to run, ignoring the pain shooting through her knee. She steps on the tile and a dart comes flying through her head. She ducks down and watches the dart hit the wall behind her. She looks down at the tiles, then up at the wall. She steps on another tile and a metal rod flies down from the ceiling. She runs forward and steps on another tile. A booby trap pops up and Tiana moves her foot out of the way before it clamps shut. She runs across the floor, dodging all the weapons while, at the same time, watching the timer count down above the ropes, seeing it go down from 1 minute to 50 seconds, 40 seconds, 30, 25. She steps on the last tile and 2 ropes fly out and wrap around Tiana's ankle, causing her to fall on the floor, hitting the injured spot. She yelps in pain and puts her hand on her injured knee while squeezing her eyes shut and waits for the pain to go down. She looks at the ropes, then at the timer, which is counting down from 15 seconds. She takes out a butcher knife and chops down on the ropes and pushes herself off the ground and puts her foot on the wall and pushes herself towards the rope and latches onto it. She pulls down on the rope, making the timer stop on 5 seconds. Tiana puts the knife up and takes out a steak knife and cuts the bag free. The students cheer for her as she limps down the steps. "A few obstacles," she scoffs. "Yeah, right." Hello! Thank you for watching. If you watched it all, I hope you did, and I hope you like it. So like, comment, share, subscribe for more. I don't really know how this goes. I'm new to this. But anyways, please comment. I could really use the feedback. Would love to see how you guys think about it and so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed it, and you guys have a wonderful day.